So why couldn't
The
you?
berries must go through a crushing and washing process, which takes place on the plantation.
I mean, so with the wax cream,
Crushing removes the protective red covering with which nature has enclosed each coffee bean. Then they are washed. The beans float while skin or pulp sinks to the bottom. Providing adequate water facilities on a tropical plantation is a necessary and costly requisite in producing high-quality coffee. Now encased only in its final pulp, or parchment, the coffee beans are spread out to dry in the sun. This takes from 8 to 10 days. Men must rake and turn the beans so that they all will dry evenly. Then, packed in bags, the dried green coffee is ready to be sent into the city. Here it is unloaded at a warehouse, where it will be inspected, sorted, and graded for quality. This initial grading is one of the most important operations in the selection of coffee. Today, mechanical methods are so perfected that coffee is sorted by machines with great precision. Each bag, after it is stamped with its country of origin, name, grade, and destination, is ready to go to the seaport, where final tests are made before shipment to the United States. Using an instrument like an apple corer, a checker stabs each bag and withdraws a sample for testing. The A&P has its own coffee experts right on the spot to test and grade the contents of each bag to see that it meets the company's quality standards. Samples are flown to the United States, together with the experts' appraisals of grade and value. Testing also includes roasting samples of the green coffee and actually taste testing it for strength and flavor. Today, many of the great cities of Latin America have been built largely upon the business of exporting coffee, which is one of their most valuable commodities. The people are modern, up-to-date, and eager to trade with their good neighbors to the north. When the coffee crop is good, business is good, for coffee means the same to these people and their ability to buy the things they need as wheat to a farmer in Nebraska or corn to Iowa and Kansas. While its miles of beautiful beaches and modern cities lure thousands of people to Latin America, nothing intrigues the tourist more than a visit to the waterfront to watch the ships loading coffee for shipment to the United States. Now a cargo of coffee is loaded aboard ship with the same care you'd use in storing food in your home. You know, some foods must be kept dry. A sudden drop in temperature upon leaving the tropics could cause dampness in the ship's hold. This moisture could injure the coffee unless the beans are carefully stowed. So, loading a cargo of coffee is also an important operation in getting this beverage on its way to you. New York, New Orleans, and San Francisco are the principal ports through which coffee arrives in the United States. Here, licensed graders spear each bag for fresh samples and taste test the shipment to make certain the coffee they've bought compares with the reports and samples from South America. Based upon the findings of these experts, one coffee is mixed in the blending machine with another to produce the bouquet, the aroma, the flavor desired. From blending machines, the green coffee is introduced next to huge automatically controlled roasting ovens, hundreds of pounds at a time. Done to a turn, cascades of precisely roasted beans are released at just the right moment, ready to be freshly sealed into packages the very same day. In this way, you know the coffee you buy is fresh and ready to be custom ground just right for the way you make coffee. Yes, we North Americans really do like coffee. We drink around 120 billion cups a year. After all, drinking coffee is one of life's pleasures, a pleasure that cannot be duplicated by any other beverage. We Americans know what we like, and we really do like coffee. Did I say like? Well, we use more than 3 billion pounds of coffee every year. Where does it all come from? Mostly from South America. So let's fly down and get the story firsthand. There's a typical plantation now. Many of the remote villages depend upon the plantations for their existence. Life is pretty much the same as it has been for generations. Today, of course, each village has its own schoolhouse, and the standard of living is immeasurably higher with increased knowledge. Naturally, the education of its youngsters includes learning all about coffee at an early age. They learn that coffee begins with a little plant or tree. These trees thrive best in rich red soil. When transplanted from the nursery, they're about 2 years old. Set in shallow holes 8 to 14 feet apart, the tree must grow for another 2 or 3 years before bearing its first crop. Brazil alone has more than 1 million square miles of coffee country, an area larger than all the United States east of the Mississippi. This is a coffee blossom. 8 to 9 months after this blooming, the coffee fruit ripens and looks very much like a cherry. Picked by skilled workers who know just when the ripe berries should be plucked, the average tree bears enough coffee beans to make about 1 pound of roasted coffee a year. Each plantation has its assembly points, where the day's pick is brought in to be weighed and bagged. This is just one step in more than 24 major operations required in bringing your cup of coffee to the table. The berries must go through a crushing and washing process, which takes place on the plantation. Crushing removes the protective red covering with which nature has enclosed each coffee bean. Then they are washed. The beans float, while skin or pulp sinks to the bottom. Providing adequate water facilities on a tropical plantation is a necessary and costly requisite in producing high-quality coffee. Now encased only in its final hull, or parchment, the coffee beans are spread out to dry in the sun. This takes from 8 to 10 days. Men must rake and turn the beans so that they all will dry evenly. Then, packed in bags, the dried green coffee is ready to be sent into the city. Here it is unloaded at a warehouse, where it will be inspected, sorted, and graded for quality. This initial grading is one of the most important operations in the selection of coffee. Today, mechanical methods are so perfected.
Hello, Mixer. How we doing today? Bacon night. Good news, bad news, I don't know. Not gonna be smoking any of my bacon, unfortunately. Combination of I couldn't find any wood. Unfortunately, I know I normally have it available to me, but weird things are unavailable right now. And two, after looking at it, I have a very old grill that I was using for smoking every now and then. I really just need to get rid of that thing. So not going to be trying smoking any of it tonight, unfortunately, but I will be cooking all of it tonight. So, and while smoke is lovely, most of our flavor is from the cure, from the aromatics. So, generally going to be okay here. Let's see what we got here. When you guys last saw these, I was washing the cure off of them, so they have been cleaned off and resting here for a little bit. And going to take each one of these out, put them on trays, on sheet, on parchment. How's everyone doing tonight? Thank you for the early hosts there. How you doing, Casper? Yeah. I've also got a pretty nice, I got it as a part of when I got my trailer. But I've never really used it. I've got an aluminum speed rack, or aluminum enclosed speed rack, one of the ones with like a heater. And so I'm going to start off with our big boy with, this is the heaviest of them, and this is with the lighter cure and all aromatics. The speed rack, it's enclosed, it's got a heater on the bottom. It would be ideal for mass smoking if just cut a hole in the bottom, proper venting. Of course, it's also perfectly good as an enclosed warming speed rack right now too. So we're going to take this lovely piece of bacon and I don't know, I can't do 4 pans of this, can I? I have to try and squeeze them in here like that. Do 2 on each side. Going to turn our oven on to 200 degrees. Low cook. Same temperature you would basically do if you were smoking it. Pulled pork is some tasty stuff. I'm not going to do it smoked, but I am going to do at least one of those shoulders is going to be slow roasted. And I already started planning, like, I'm going to do 4 tacos tonight, and I'm going to do one with each of the different types of bacon in it. Thank you for the sparks. So we've got 2 that are 0.25 cure and 2 that are the 3.0 cure. Why are these? This one's mislabeled. Oh wells. So I'm gonna do, let's see. These 2 together, which are the 0.25 cures. I'll do the cures the same. This guy a little bit smaller, but he's only a 1/10 of a pound lighter. Nice streaky bacon. Now here's where I get into knowing which one's which. So I'm going to write on the parchment. Yeah, risotto is a ton of stirring. It's tasty though once you get it nice and creamy, even though you didn't add any cream into it. So I have .30 arrow, .30 no arrow. Set these guys over in the stove to hang out for a couple minutes here. My handles are away. I see Skip's coming in here. Hey, Skip. Thank you for the auto host. I certainly hope so. I certainly hope so. Let's go to not much, Skip. How you doing today? I'm wrapping up bacon tonight. Unfortunately, not smoking anything as originally planned, but we are going to have some beautiful bacon once we're done. And that's that pink salt in action, that pink color in the fat. You guys look at this last one here. And then Skip, if you didn't hear earlier, I'm going to be making tacos with all these. I'm going to take that chicken, butcher the chicken, and or cut up the chicken and cook the legs and thighs. Make some taco meat with that. Gonna do the bacon with that. I've still got some old cabbage kicking around. Figure I'd chop up a little bit that with some ranch dressing that I've already got made, and maybe a little cheddar on top with my own. We'll do lard tortillas, and I'll fry them in lard too. So bacon on top of bacon on top of bacon. And so those are going in there to hang out for 2 hours. Oops. Thing gets to 1 hour and just starts clicking off hours. Silly timer. $200 degrees. Pretty much the exact same thing you'd be doing smoking. You want to be doing 200 degrees until you're up to temp, which should be roughly 2 hours. Considering that most bacon is roughly the same thickness. Let's put these clean pans away before I get them dirty. Dirty pan over here, get rid of our trash. No one's seen, this is the post washed version here. The red did fade some, but I like how it faded out into the fabric actually. Looks a little bit more like that worn fabric attempt look to it. And then these are like plastic. And so, yep. And so, pending after I give these a couple more washes, giveaway gift this year, or this month, is going to be one of the nicer versions of that. Yeah, I thought it'd be something fun to do. It looks great on cam, and I'm not looking to kill myself with it, but yeah, it'd be fun. This is nice chicken. I mean, it's got some nice color. This bird ate and lived well. Well, then again, they're getting pretty damn good at replicating stuff. The major reason that I started off with it was I was actually looking for decent towels that I could have in the kitchen here, and it's like, why not? I have some nice towels, but they're all, like half of them are branded. Oh, come on, knife. Why you gotta be so dull today? Well, I say that they're so good at fake. It's the reason I was saying that is one of the more recent gimmicks. More recent. It's probably been 5 years now. Dan Barber in New York, who's sort of the Mr. farm to table for rich people in New York. Has had a egg dish on his menu where the egg yolk is like practically red because they feed the chickens nothing but red peppers, and the capsaicin, or not the capsaicin, the color, the keratin, just like carrots, colors the yolks from them eating all these peppers. Thank you for the sparks. Oh, for the embers. For the embers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a lot of respect for Dan Barber, but I also have a lot of respect for him being a great marketer. Oh, come on, peel off. Be easy for me. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. It's not a grind, though. It's what I do normally. I just added cameras. That's why it works for me. Come on, pull. Ugh, it's still attached. That makes 3 carcasses I have in my freezer now. So I'll be doing probably a small batch of chicken stock here, not too far away, too long in the future. Throw this guy in there. And I'm going to throw the wings in there because I don't really have plans for them. Well, now I got room for all the stock. And actually, I'm getting sort of low on chicken stock. Let's see, I've got 1, 2. I think I've only got 2 bags of it left. The chicken stock I go through pretty quickly. I'll probably go through the pork stock pretty quickly for that same reason. Is I use it for rice all the time. I use it for all sorts of other stuff that a lot of other people probably don't think of to use it for, or at least don't on a normal basis. What do I have? I have plans, but I don't have plans for the chicken breast. Maybe I'll use them on an off night. normally leave pulling the bones out of the thighs till after I cook them because it's just generally easier. But I don't think I've pulled a thigh bone out here in a while on stream, so I thought I'd strip these down and cut them into pieces. If I was slow cooking it, I'd want all that cartilage and stuff, but it's not going to break down for this short time that I'm going to be cooking these. So let's see, got a little bone chip up here. Okay. Actually, I was a little frustrated at myself last night with I was using pork stock for the mac and cheese I made last night. Just the ice cube, just a couple ounces of ice cubes, like I do. I realized I was pulling out like the last like couple ice cubes of pork stock I still had, and I didn't make any more pork stock with my or ice cube pork stock with this most recent batch. And the reason for that being this ice cube trays that I had been using for stock are getting pretty beat up at this point. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oops. Didn't feel this one up. Make sure there weren't any scraps of bone or anything going on there. I'm gonna leave those guys whole. Nice. Yeah, it's probably what I should do. This was a thin plastic cheapo deal that I started using for stock because I wasn't worried about losing it. Or wasn't worried about using it for normal ice cubes, or basically didn't care about them. But the plastic's starting to crack now. I don't know if it's the age or use, but one of the two. I threw there's thigh bones in there with the carcass. Starting to smell porky in here. Looking at the ratio here in the tortillas, I don't remember it. Oh, I need more flour. I didn't refill my flour thingy last night. Oh. That is what I wanted. Where's that? There it is. Got a little bit of flour here. I don't know if you guys can see. Yeah. Most of it's not in here anymore, but I had to leave a little bit in here because I just didn't have any other large containers to throw it in. I've got a .22 liter container of flour that's taped up and closed that I haven't even started in on after I'm done with finishing this bag up. But at the same time, I'm not leaving my house right now. Opening everything up here in the States and everyone's still getting sick. I'm staying at home. I've toyed with that a little bit, Casper, but I'm not using, sorry, it's been a minute since you said that, but I missed it. Oh, that's not working either. My captioning isn't working still. Why isn't that working? Let's see if that changes that. Well, at least took the message off. I went and got sidetracked. Oh, Mixplay. I've toyed around with Mixplay. I've got a setup for Mixplay that I'd love to implement, but I just haven't added Mix It Up bot at all to my setup, and so I haven't gotten into wanting to finish that up and put it out there. On top of it, I think Mix It Up is probably a great product, but at the same time, I keep hearing a lot of people right now complaining about APIs with it, and so I'm just not messing with it. My computer is struggling enough as it is. Well, also with all those long videos, I think I've told you guys before, but with the long videos that I have, the more like 10-15 minute videos that I have for the intro and AFK screen, I've got like 10 or 15 different very politically incorrect but hilarious old commercials that are like 2 minutes long. Forgetting what I'm doing here. Working on tortillas first. let's leave it at that for now. Still haven't emptied the bag. Yeah, I've had some fun times here with audio lately. I've realized that you can't mess with audio too much with OBS or slobs, or it just gets messed up for the rest of the stream. I think that's more because my computer is a little bit struggling along here with OBS. I think that's because the computer isn't catching back up when things get messed up. We're doing approximately 2 cups here of flour. I know you can't see me measuring it out here at the moment, but sorry. I think you guys can picture 2 cups of flour. There's that. Put the rest of this flour away. Let's get the chicken out of the way. I'm happy that I stopped. I used to play music in the background, and with the audio issues, I gave up on that, just if only because it was coming through on the mics. But I stopped with it before the beginning of this year, and so all my videos that I'm putting up on Patreon are pretty much copyright free, other than like the intros, and the intros are different from where it is now, and so I'm just cutting the intros out. Actually, I'm having YouTube cut the intros out. So the ratio here is a tablespoon or so of lard from our good fat out of the pig, with 2 cups of flour, a little bit of baking powder, and salt. Let's start by working the fat in here before I add anything else. And I want to try and distribute that as much as we can, sort of like a biscuit dough or something like that. Want a little flecks of fat all over the place. Pork powder. Haven't finished the bacon yet. Okay, I'm not feeling any major chunks in there anymore. This should be in the ballpark of about 6, I'm guessing here. See, that's one of the advantages you have with making stuff at home too. I mean, You buy flour tortillas in the store and they aren't seasoned. I mean, you can buy Doritos tacos at Taco Bell, but let's see what else we thrown in the baking powder. You can skip the baking powder if you don't want it to bubble at all. Gonna have to get some new baking powder or open the other one here soon. This one's getting a little, besides we're getting to the bottom of it, but it's getting a little bit crunchy. Yeah, you can probably get some healthier ones if you're using like sprouted wheats or stuff like that. Actually, you can rather make them with it too. I mean, they sell sprouted wheat flours, but I don't ever use them. Maybe a little hard to find right now too. Give this is like shockingly similar to last night's flatbread, but which I still have some of. You just throw that back in the pan. That was with rosemary, and I was testing out the fermented garlic I have with honey, and I used that in there too. And that was, I was worried about it. I was worried that it was going to have an off flavor. That's why I did it on an off night, and it turned out pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, how much water we need here? 1.5 cups. We need 1.5 cups of water here. Oh, that was too much water right there. I was cutting this recipe in half. So, that's too much water. Should have been 3/4 of a cup instead of a whole cup in there now. May have to add a little bit more flour here, but we'll see. It's definitely wetter than I want it to be, but I don't know if it's the end of the world here. It's gonna chill out in the fridge for a little bit. Let's let that hang out in the fridge for a little bit. We'll see what it looks like after it rests, and we'll add some more flour if it needs it then to roll it out. Put our lard back here. It's the first time I'm using lard from the pig. See how our bacon's looking 30 minutes in here. Yep, that's bacon. I'm gonna guess that's gonna give me anywhere from 5 to 8. It's gonna matter obviously how big you cut them up and how large you want them. Thank you for the host there, guys. Sorry I missed those a little bit earlier there with Artifact and Arth Fock and BU with Autohost. So chicken. Let's get our chicken searing. I'm gonna shoot for 6 out of that, and hoping that I'll have 4 nice ones. Let's see what the original recipe here is. Like I said, I cut the recipe in half here. Original recipe is 24. Wow. So this is supposed to be able to make 12. But original recipe for 24 servings is 4 cups of flour, a teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 2 tablespoons of lard, and 1.5 cups of water. And so I basically cut that in half. I put a little bit too much water in there. Cut ourselves a little onion here. Oh, hi there, Smoky Pam. Let's turn that heat up a little bit and that fire down a little bit. Fan's on pretty high. Let me know if the audio's okay. Yeah, that sounds cool. There's a lot of cool stuff people are doing with mixed play. It's just how much time you want to get into coding and how much you want to dedicate it towards that, especially since you're dedicating it towards one platform. Yeah, I'm strong about Mixer, and I'm not even considering changing things, but I do think that may be a little bit of a stretch doing all that work and all that coding and hours of time into it. Hey, Statch. Statch. Welcome. Hopefully you're having a great evening. We're sauteing a little onion here before I cook up the chicken on the counter over here. And I've got a crap ton of bacon in the oven right now that I'm cooking. That being, I believe, over 20 pounds of bacon in my oven right now. Yeah, the major thing is, like, it's the same interactive stuff that other people would be doing if I added it to mine. Nothing really too innovative other than, like I said, I have the commercials and some other stuff that'd be cool to play if I'm just chilling out. But I'm not going to be creating, I was watching Art by Galen earlier today, who's one of the great creative streamers here on Mixer, and he's creating, like, different characters and different factions with his chat, and they're fighting using sparks and cards and all that good stuff. Yeah, I was watching him work on the third one today. Because we're making tacos, might as well taste a little Mexican. Should never, ever, especially with hard spirits, pour directly from the bottle into a hot pan. Yes, sir. Why, hello there, Mr. Carrington. Welcome. Another great creative streamer here on Mixer. Yeah, we got bacon, and more bacon in the oven, doing a slow cook, and I'm working on doing some Mexican style chicken with tacos. Gonna do some bacon chicken ranch tacos, and I'm doing 4 different types of bacon. They've all had, I haven't smoked them. Unfortunately, I don't have a proper way to do a proper smoking on them here. I was hoping to be able to do that today. I'm not able to do that for you guys today. But I am doing them in the oven the other proper way. And they've been cured 4 different ways. I've used 2 different cures, or level amounts of cure. And I've done 2 of them with aromatics and 2 of them without aromatics at each of the different cures. And so I'll have 4 different types to try. clean this guy real quick and use him. Nice. Get rid of our that and that. We're good with that. We're good with that. Okay, let's pull these onions back off. Grab one of my new towels. We'll let these just chill off to the side here. I'll work on the cheek one. I don't know why I'm doing like a Creole accent when I'm talking about chicken, especially since I'm making it like Spanish or Mexican style. Or at least flavored, seasoned. I believe Mr. Carrington's reading Around the World in 80 Days right now. I know I had decided whatever it was that I was unfortunately going to skip that one, but I do enjoy listening to him read stories. Got that, we got that. Cabbage. Let's do a little cabbage cutting. So, these have been kicking around a little while, so they're not looking the freshest anymore, but we're gonna douse them in ranch anyway, so I think it's going to be the last time we try and pull these out and use them. Give ourselves a healthy salt to the other side here. Thanks for stopping by, Casper. Appreciate you. Thank you for the auto host, Jamuna. It's an auto host, and I know Jamuna is probably sleeping this time of night, but for him. But he does cooking streams early morning for us US people. On occasion. About once a week. I forget what it is. I didn't add the zoom back in for that. Let's do this so you guys can actually see what's cooking here. Well, so I can see what's cooking too. I cheat so much now just looking at my monitor instead of looking back at the stove. This is going to be way too much cabbage for this, but like I said, I'm using it up. Sunflower oil as usual. So that's going to change to lard here once I run out, I think. Just because I have so much freaking lard in the house right now. I went and filled up 3 containers of it and put it in the freezer over there. So I've got lots of lard. Let's throw that in the bowl. That's all I really need. chicken isn't cooked through, but it does have some nice color to it, so chop it up, throw it back in. Skin and all, which that's my personal choice. Some people may not like that little bit of chew you get from the skin here and there, but it doesn't bother me. So obviously you can pull the skin off before you even cook it if you're not a fan of the skin. So I'm curious if anyone out there's got the audio cranked, and it sounds like they're swimming right now, or I'm swimming right now. They keep turning. I want you to hold stiff. Add all the onions back in here. I haven't decided what I'm doing with the drums there, if I'm gonna, or with the legs, if I'm gonna just leave them whole and maybe gnaw on them like completely separate, or if I'm gonna toss them in with the other meat. Either way, I'm just gonna season them and cook them the same. Seasoning time. Let's go flat stitch for this. It works a little bit better with the spices. Garlic powder, 1/4 teaspoon. onion powder, quarter teaspoon. Smoked paprika, heaping quarter teaspoon. New Mexico chili powder, quarter teaspoon. I'm just gonna do that across the line here until we get the cayenne. I'm gonna be a little bit lighter on the cayenne. I do appreciate spice. My gut doesn't handle it too well anymore, so I'm gonna keep things a little bit lighter on that end. But feel free to spice things up on your end. Do an eighth of a teaspoon there. That'll still be a bit of a kick. But it's certainly not going to be. I mean, I've done the heavy hot spice stuff before, but no mas. Give that a stir. We'll add some pepper and salt to that, some MSG. Start with a little MSG. Healthy pinch of salt. And black pepper. Yeah, it's just, I've done the habanero, I haven't done some of the hotter ones now, but that's just because I gave up on it before they were even around. Just gonna add a little moisture to the pan here, help it deglaze a little bit. I'm just gonna add a little water. I could add stock, you could add, if you're drinking wine or something, you can add wine. That's also going to help here. I'm going to add a decent amount, but I'm going to cook most of this out as we're dealing with the tortillas. And mix in all this loveliness, and the moisture is going to help to distribute the spices throughout too. Ooh, that smells good. Get that a little mix up here where we got a lot of moisture. Like I said, turn it around. Can't quite tell what it smells like right now. It certainly smells like pork, but I certainly got a decent corn smell going on, a couple other things going around here. It's sort of like a cross between pork and Fritos. That's sort of why I was mentioning Doritos earlier too. I don't even eat chips anymore. I haven't ate chips, I mean, ages. It's been years. Other than tortilla chips. So this guy we're going to pull off to the side. We're going to switch back to less of a zoom here. Oops. There we go. Going to take this guy and put him on a lower heat over here to simmer on the second side. Purposely didn't use this guy earlier, so I had him for the tortillas. And so I got this on a really low heat now. I'm just trying to evenly warm up this pan, get it ready, because I still have to roll out all the tortillas before we get there. see, we're an hour in on our bacon. Yep, it's bacon. So, okay, that's holding up a little bit better than I thought. If you're just joining me in now, I did overhydrate this dough. I added a little bit too much water. I was cutting the recipe in half and made a boo-boo in my measurements. So this has got a little too much water in it still, so it's just going to need a little bit more flour to make nice tortillas. Okay. And so this I am going to, well, we can knead this for a little bit here. Do want to make sure we get all that flour incorporated and make sure that we got enough still, because it's obviously still dry or still wet. Okay, I lied. I think I'm going to shoot for 8 with that instead of 6. Cut this mic off. You guys don't have to listen to the fan as much. And actually, I can turn the fan down too. There, that shouldn't be as noisy now. You. Still obviously a little wet there, but we'll figure that out as we go. Ooh, not on top of the measuring spoons. Let's go to rolling. Excuse me one sec. Okay. Sticking too much, gonna have to knead these a bit more. wet dough. I mean, it's a difference of a quarter cup. So even with 8 of these, we're going to have pretty decent size tortillas too. So, guess I was underestimating here really to begin with. I think it was Casper who was asking how many I made. It's like I'm rolling out rolls before I make tortillas here. They're still sticking. Make sure you follow the recipes properly. Then you end up with crap like this when you mess up. Example of how you're not supposed to roll dough, by the way, here. You're never supposed to hold on to the dough while you're rolling it, but these are just wet enough that they're just not cooperating. So I'm cheating. And not necessarily in a good way. stickage, not wood. It's supposed to stick together, not to the rolling pin. Let's see, how am I doing on time here? Okay, we still got a little time here. Let's turn the heat off on this pan now. Let that just chill out. How's that chicken looking? That chicken's still looking delicious here. Yeah, that's nice and yummy and it's still bubbling slowly. Stick. Stay together. Wham. Oh, that one might be we're just giving up on that one. Tortilla down. Let's make sure we're working with a clean surface here still. By clean, I mean a flat and not lumpy and full of dry dough. Because I got clumps in with this here too. Dry clumps on my hands. Let's screw up number 2. Just keep sticking and sticking my rolling pin here. What I'm doing here when I'm spinning on the board, I don't know if people are familiar. When you're making a dinner roll or a roll like that, you have to use a cross between the board and your hand and the pressure and the stickiness of the dough. It's sort of hard to really explain it based off, but the friction allows it to form into a ball in your hand from the little bit of sticking to the board and a little bit of sticking to your hand. So when they stop sticking, that's sort of when I'm going back over here. Essentially, it's about all I can do right now, unless I want to sit here and wait with it even longer. Like I said, I messed up the ratio on this to start with, and I added an extra quarter cup of water into it, so this is a lot wetter than it should be if you do it at home. And so I'm having extra problems. Oh, don't do that to me. And they are sticky. But it shouldn't be until it's not sticky. I mean, the dough should still be sticky. Skip. Oh no, it is. But you don't want to do it until it's not sticky. But if you've worked with dough and you've worked with bread doughs and stuff like that, it's still gonna feel sticky to the layman, for lack of a better way of describing it. Someone that hasn't done it before, but it'll be much more workable than it is right now. Right now, it's just like goop. It, all that work, and I got 2 rolls out of it before it started sticking. I tend to have more of a problem with baking too, but that's because I'm just not a precise, exact kind of guy. I'm not a mathematical, not a. I mean, baking's a lot more science and than it is, you know. Let's throw some things together and see if it tastes good. Probably used a whole extra cup of flour here for that quarter cup of water. All the stickage. Welcome, Lotus. How you doing this afternoon or evening or whatever it is, wherever you are? I am sort of lazily working on making some fresh tortillas here. flour style tortillas with lard. I've got bacon in the oven. I've got chicken simmering on the stove. And it's all going to be delicious here at some point, but we've got probably another, oh, we got 30 minutes exactly on our bacon before our bacon's out of the oven. I am doing quite lovely today. Things have been going slow but smoothly. Got lots of friendly faces in chat today, so that's fun. If any of you guys are new here, I know I've got quite a few people in here. I'm not really paying attention to who's in the room. Hi, I'm Jason. I've been cooking here on Mixer since October, and do dinners here 3 nights a week. Sort of try and change things up a little bit. You know, I have my repeats, but I generally try and change something about them every time I do them. Tonight's show is mostly the bacon that's in the oven. I've got roughly 20 pounds of bacon that I've cured here from the pork from the pig that I broke up earlier this month, which is, I think, still available in this, the VODs down below. I have worked as a chef professionally the majority of my life. However, I am not currently professionally working this one. Just doing streaming these days. And that doesn't have anything to do with anything else that's going on in the world. It's other things going on in the world. Oh, stickage. It's the word of the night, stickage. Having a little trouble with these tortillas that I messed up the recipe on them a little bit, and I added too much moisture to them, so they're a little bit too wet. I'm also just cooking for myself here, so I do try and keep clean, but I'm not risking infecting anyone here by coughing in the wrong direction or something. Come on. You'll be able to see in the top corner there, I have a slideshow of all my past streams here on Mixer. I don't think I've really excluded anything there. There's some photos that are not exactly the greatest that I've cut out, but it's more because of the photo, not the food. Okay, I think I'm going to live with those. Not my best work for tortillas, but they will be tasty nonetheless. Get rid of the flour. Get our pan heating once again. Drinking water tonight, but I often drink alcohol on stream, so that is why I'm 18 plus stream here. Let's go back to a more normal view here. Little olive oil spray in the pan here. Clean up the cutting board here while That pan is warming back up again. Yeah, I've started using that GIF all over the place too. Oh, they got a ton of them from him, from Chef, which is cool. Work, 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 work. Not sure I get that one. I don't know it that well. Okay, got a light smoke going here. Getting close on our pan. Nice. Doing olive oil instead of my normal sunflower oil. So this is smoking at a much lower temp here. It's that pan's closer to 350 than 500. So normally when my pan's smoking, it's closer to 500. I'm out of water. Put it all in the chicken. Oh, that's right. I was going to use lard to fry the tortillas. Oh well. It's not making much noise otherwise. I turned the mic off over on the mic on the stove. But it's not sizzling much, so you ain't missing much. Let's grab my tortilla holder. Got bags and junk in the way. Hi. See, it says tortillas and everything. It's taking a little long. The pan was a little too cold. A little bit longer. This side's you can see how it like absorbed that oil rather than frying it. The pan was too cold. Be tasty, but that side's like pale white, and this side's like gold yellow. I'm gonna stay with the olive oil instead of the lard. Yep, too wet with the dough. Never seem to get tortillas just right. I mean, flatbread I can do well. It seems like I mess up on tortillas more than. This just smells lovely over here. Just yum. I'm gonna go light on the oil in the next one here and see if that works any better. It's not like I'm having any issues with them sticking. We don't have any stickage in the pan. Yeah, maybe you should move to the U. No, I'm not going to suggest that right now. But if you gotta crash, man, you gotta crash. I appreciate you even stopping by. I got another. Probably wrap things up here in about 20 minutes now. Bacon should be done around then. I'll be able to take a couple of nice slices. Give me another 5 minutes or so. Give those a nice fry up. The rest is just building the tacos. With my ugly, disfigured shells. I went and got myself stuck on. For anyone else new joining me here, of my professional career, probably the last 5 years of it has been working out of farmers markets, direct from the local farmers. And because I've been working in farmers markets, not only do I have to wake up early to be at the farmers market, you have to wake up early to prep the kitchen to be at the farmers market. And so I have spent the last 5-6 years of my life, 7, 8, 9, waking up at 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. So I am still an early bird, even though I feel like I sleep in from the way I used to. Sort of live on East Coast hours on the West Coast of the U.S. It almost works out better that way, though, too. I'm not a big TV person, but even the TV stuff is out here on the West Coast is sort of skewed towards East Coast hours. And so we'll get some stuff, like, we'll get some of their late night stuff, like, mad early, and then other stuff, they'll delay it and play it for us mad late when it's now delayed and on YouTube and everything else already. But it's that way for a lot of things. These turn out a little bit better without the oil added. Yeah. And no. I don't really watch much TV at all anymore. I catch a couple of things, actually, mostly on YouTube these days. There's just too many ads. It's just nothing but ads. Which is also probably why I watch so much streaming these days. I mean, yeah, the streamers are advertising, but it's not commercial break every 30 seconds with a recap for half of that. The re-rolls are almost worse than the commercials because they figure no one lasted through the commercials. I don't even have a subscription to the. I mean, I've got Amazon, but that's mostly for deliveries. Games, I I like games, but I really just can't get into them. I can't. It's a combination of I can sit down and play a game for a little bit, but I'm not going to play a game for hours, and I'm not going to stream a game for hours. Um, I just get this overwhelming feeling like there's a half a gazillion. Whether I actually end up being constructive or not, I just sit there and worry about what else I could be doing that's actually going to accomplish something. And additionally, most of the times when I'm playing games, I want to win. And so if I'm getting involved into a game, I want to get involved and I want to know everything about it. And, you know, it's just not really possible these days the way it was when I was a kid. Well, the games have gotten huge, but it's also gotten to there is no good point to get into. I mean, it used to be you could get in, you know, at the beginning of a game, but now like half of them are crowdsourced or they've gotten betas that popular streamers are already involved in instead of, you know, a smaller group of non-streamers. It's just so near impossible to get in on that beginning level to be the best at that game. Yeah, I've got old betas, and I've got I was in the alpha for Horizons. I still got the alpha CD for Horizons. Which, I don't know if that game ever came out. I think it did under a different name or something. Hi, Leah. How you doing this evening? You might guess I'm a little bit of a book junkie if I got both Leah, I guess, and Mr. Carrington coming into my room today. Both of them lovely book readers. They both have very chill, relaxing streams too that are very easy to hang out in. Ooh, forgetting about my last tortilla here. Ooh. Luckily not that much color. I'm gonna live with that. That's character. Yes, they were. It was sort of interesting the differences between them too, because I didn't really catch the book from either one of them, but I caught bits and pieces of it from both of them. I'm laughing at Leah's last comment, which I missed there. I kept laughing at Leah dealing with the gibberish. Okay, we got our shells. Those are gonna hang out there. What else do I gotta chop up today for this? There was something else I gotta do that I'm not remembering. Oh, cheese. Cheddar. And then again, you gotta sort of think of risque then versus now, too. It's sort of weird how, if you look back on history and books and all that good stuff, how people went from extremely romantic to extremely death focused and back and forth throughout history. Sort of like we're always focused on either living or dying. Oh, I can turn this pan off and stop it from burning all that flour. So we got that, we got that. We got my Love and You towels that I screen printed earlier this week. If you guys didn't check that out, some past VODs, I was very happy with how those turned out for first time attempt at screen printing. Cheddar. I have to keep reminding myself. Yeah, class is an issue. Well, that's... yeah. I'm sort of half thinking that I should probably put a disclaimer on those early videos that I have for my intro on AFK, because, I mean, half of the reason that I think they're funny is because of how inappropriate they are in modern society. They're completely inappropriate for people to consider to be normal behavior now. But, I mean, they're 50 years old. They're, well, 70 years old. I was actually sort of thinking about that today, and I was sort of like, yeah, I really like the videos, but I don't want to get into flack from people from that, because I understand and respect that. It's why I think they're funny. Okay, what do we got left? Bacon. We got bacon left. We got cheese done. We can throw the cheese back in the fridge. oven, shut up. So our bacon should be done here. Should be done. I'm going to trust my calibration on my thermometer from the other day here. Oh, that's a bit heavy for me to grab that way. All right. That really fit. PC fits the time in many ways. Still don't know why my closed captions ain't working for me. Grrr. Try open that thing in Edge and Chrome. Just ain't doing it. Okay, bacon needs a little bit longer here. So I'm actually gonna... Actually, let's see if the bottom one's any better here. Let's see if my oven's that off in temperature from top to bottom. Yeah, we're doing a little bit better there. Sorry, I can't really show you the thermometer that easily. I'm going to turn this up to 250 and give these both another. Yeah. The ones on bottom did cook a little bit warmer. They're about 10 degrees hotter, but they still need another 10 degrees or so. So we're going to put the ones that were on top on bottom. These back in there. Give them another 15 minutes here. Yeah, it's sort of been driving me nuts lately too, Skip. I think it's driving everyone nuts a little bit right now. So we got that. Add our ranch, make our salad here. Not making ranch today. I've made ranch before on stream. I'm cheating tonight. Get out of here, bug. Been getting more flies and stuff since it warmed up here. don't like making ranch at home a lot because I don't mind making ranch. I like ranch, but I don't like buying buttermilk because I usually don't end up using all of it. It ends up being a waste. And so, unless I'm doing something like frying chicken or something like that, I'm probably not gonna be making ranch. Even though I think it tastes better, like I said, at home. Let's turn the flame back on this low. Sort of wishing I had a little cilantro for garnish or something like that, but nope, not today. I've been sort of extending my stay at home here this last week or so. I did pick up groceries the other day, but it was a situation where I ordered them online and I just showed up and they threw them in the back of my truck, and it's not how I like ordering my veggies, so it's not how I'm going to do most of my shopping, but it's okay for the dry stuff. Yeah, I have a feeling we're going to have a couple of markets switch to that. I'd like to see more businesses switch to that, but they're still going to try and force people in inside stores for the pressure sale if they're going to have to pay for the rent. Is that dirt? Yeah, that's not looking very clean. Let's give that a spot wash, see if that's actually dirt or if it's something else weird going on. I have a feeling it's dirt. Yeah, it's dirt. It's because there's no real timeline. Guess this guy got dirty in the shelf or something, or I don't know. I don't know how it got dirty and made it back onto the shelf. I clean everything perfectly. Oh yeah, we've got like something like 12 states right now that are all just skyrocketing. Arizona and Texas right now are ridiculously high, and the projections on Texas are not good right now. gonna use the shorter side, not the bigger side. Okay. So we're waiting on bacon. Yeah, actually, let's look that up. I haven't been looking at that much lately. But yeah, it's one of my. But I mean, it's just a piece of folded metal. I mean, it's nothing that, other than being stainless. It's nothing special. Gotta have the proper tools for making tacos. I mean, who doesn't love tacos? Thank you for that, host Kai. I've only got one of them, so it's not going to work very well when I want to share. We need my small little pan here to finish up our bacon. When that is done here, and I'm going to need a board out here for dealing with that too, so we can pull this guy back out here, because we'll treat our cured and cooked bacon like it's still raw, right? And my tip got bashed again. This knife is getting so dull now, though. That chicken smells good. And so let's see, we can put one pan. I need places for both of these pans too. Put one over here. And put one up over here. Gonna have bacon out here, so. Let's make sure I got the right temp for these bacons too. Nah, that's a waste of time. You have no bacon? I'm making all of this bacon, and I still have this bacon, this bacon. I have this bacon. I have another 5 pounds of bacon that I didn't even cure in the freezer. I like bacon. It makes the world go round, doesn't it? That is something that I can do here, is see who's out there in the mixer world and who I can give a host to when we wrap things up here shortly. Turn the oven off there. Grab 2 more of these guys. That is looking like some nice rosy red bacon to me. I think that cure worked out nicely. Yeah, those are looking pretty good in color now. Okay. I'm gonna call that good there. This may be slightly under, but that is warm. Yeah, you guys want to see this. It's a little warm for me to hold on to here nicely, but do have nice color there. It's all fat. It's all fat. Okay, so before I get too deep here, I need to start labeling bags. I have to go with pork over turkey. Sorry, Leah. I know you're not the biggest pork fan. Oh, hello, Rhino. Well, thank you for lurking. So this is going to be the most basic one. This one's got the least amount of cure on it, and it didn't use aromatics with it. Aromatics being rosemary, thyme, bay leaf, and garlic. I'd agree with that, Rhino. Turkey bacon isn't a bad product. It's just not bacon. And I'm not going to slice these at all because, well, first off, because I don't feel like slicing them all, but also because that allows me to do thicker cuts and lardons and other lovely things. I have one of those t-shirts. I don't wear it on stream, but I have one of those shirts that says bacon gives me a lardon. So this is the seam cure with aromatics. All shellfish or just bit more fat in that half there. Or a bit more meat in that half. That's looking a little bit more like your classic bacon. Nice thin, fat meat fat. Ooh. Oh. Well, at least you can do gluten. Um, yeah, I don't know what Leah would do if she couldn't make bagels. Pizza, yeah. But if you can't do bagels, you can't do pizza. The one that gets me, and I did see him have an actual reaction to it, although it was a mild reaction, was I went to culinary school at the CIA with a gentleman who is actually allergic to onions. That looks like that would be delicious in a sauce or something. I don't know. Yeah, it was, yeah. I'm smelling gas over here, so I think one of my flames is out. That would be both of my flames. Yeah. Oh. Thankfully, after working out of a mobile kitchen for the last umpteen years, I'm acutely aware of the smell of propane. That's another thing with mobile vehicles that most people don't think about. There's a lot that people don't realize that you have to do for taco trucks, but we start getting into in California here. We start getting into legalities about how much propane you're carrying around. Yeah, yum. So this is the higher cure, 0.3, and with no aromatics. Although the aromatics shouldn't do much of a visual difference here. Yeah. No aromatics. 0.3 here. Actually, I think it should be 0.03. I don't remember, but the gist of it gets across. So each of these are roughly 2.5 to 3 pounds, since each of these were roughly 5.5. It's our last guy. Ooh, he's nice and meaty. We'll take it from the other side here, though. Bit thick on that end. Oh well. There's our higher cure. Well, this is not 100% bacon now because I didn't smoke it, but it is cured and smoked to be the proper definition of bacon. It's also the cut, but it's the combination of curing and smoking or slow cooking. So I have enough bacon for a while now. No, it's exactly this. Well, as Americans would say, it's the same thing. Those in the UK would call it streaky bacon. You can make bacon from the jowl muscle or the face of a pig as well, but in the US we typically call that jowl bacon. So. And it's sort of fun. It's sort of weird that those in the UK call it streaky bacon, because I think of jowl bacon as being like even fattier. I mean, it's just nothing but fat. just changed everything on my Stream Deck, and so now it's so confusing to figure out where things are. But I've now consolidated just about. I need to put one more on there. The one that I'm using right now isn't on there. Got just about all of them on my standard size Stream Deck. In clay, you mean? That's cool. Thanks for stopping by, Leah. I know tonight's stream wasn't necessarily your thing. I am going to try and do a little bit less pork here now that I'm beyond the big wave here. Yeah, that one. I've already sprayed off my keyboard once. Where am I going to put the bacon until I'm ready for the bacon? Ooh, you popped back open. We'll put those in there separate. And that's going to be a project for after the stream. I like my bacon crispy even though it's nice and thick there, so I'm going to give that a second here. Okay, I can't resist. Pretty tasty. Pretty tasty. Thinking that's up there. needs a little warm up. The problem with tortillas when you make them at home, unlike the store, we don't have preservatives or things keeping them soft. And so I'm getting to get it crispy here. And so I'm going to warm them up a little bit to soften them back up. Delaying things even further here. We're now 25 minutes past expected finish here. My Slob's mini feed is apparently giving me double notices whenever someone hosts me. That is for sure. So, each of these lovely strips of bacon gets their own taco. Turn off the heat on our chicken here. Grab some of this loveliness. I just got sweat in my eye. Does not feel good. All right, Rhino, have a great night. Thanks for stopping by. I always appreciate you stopping in. I doubt there is anyone that doesn't know, but if you guys don't know in chat, Rhino does pottery here on Mixer. Go ahead and give him a follow and check out his stream. We have our ranch drenched cabbage here. Wishing I had taken a shot of the bacon before I threw them in all the shells here. So there you go. There I go. There's dinner. Where's my phone? Started putting my phone over here and I'm forgetting where I put it now. Awesome. So thank you guys all for joining me this evening. I am going to go and enjoy this and hope I don't have to evacuate. Anyone else here in the California area may want to check out. I'm getting notices from Cal Fire that there's something going on around here. Not getting serious notices yet, but there's something happening in Northern California here. Hope you guys all have a lovely evening. And yeah, thanks for stopping by. I'm going to find some in the file to give a host to here real quick. Hope you all have a great night.